One of the things you could do with that Chiron in Pisces, which is retrograde, by the way, in your chart, anytime you feel a little out of balance or out of sorts or, edgy yourself, take a bath.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will.
If you don't have a bathtub, shower, it's fine. But you need to put yourself in water because that's your medium. That's really
it is, and through usually when I'm in water, then I'm connected to source, so to speak, and the messages flow much easier. They're more in a word fluid,
You may also want to if you're doing psychic readings or working with people intuitively, you may want to have water on the table, not water to drink. Just water on the table as kind of a as a medium to be there with you.
I do that. You're very good, by the way. Really, I do that. You're very good. Really, I'm impressed.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you. I
thank
appreciate
you so
that.
much. You're welcome, and I'll be checking in, in future. Thanks so much.
Oh, you take care.
I am. Thanks. Okay.
Okay. Bye. Okay. Well, there we go. First reading of the day. Got off to a good start, eh? Not bad, huh? Okay. Let's go to the 562 line. Hello, you're on the air with Robert. Hello? Going once?
Hello.
Steve?
Hello? Yeah.
Hello? Hey, man.
I'm here.
Hey, you're the resident Virgo. I mean, besides me, you're more of a Virgo than I am.
Are you familiar with an astrologer named Louis Turi?
I know Louis, yes.
Because he always talks about it was the dragon's head, the dragon's tail. I'd like to know where mine is natally and what house and all that good stuff. Yeah. And what the significance of it is.
Louis, so I go back a long way with Louis. I used to do the Whole Life Expo shows. Like I wasn't on circuit. I wasn't on the circuit. I wouldn't travel with the shows, but I would do San Francisco, and then I would do occasionally Austin, and because I connect. So, and at that time, I was doing tarot readings. It was a big part of my life. So Louis had his booth next to mine one year, so we got to know each other a little bit, and he's a character. I mean, I like him. I think he's actually very talented.
He's incredible.
Yeah. And he turned me on to Mars using the dragon's head and the dragon's tail interpretation. And since we're on Mars and since we're on diet Mars and Virgo, at that time I was trying to be a vegetarian. And I was cold all the time. I didn't have a lot of energy. It was, I was doing my best. I was doing my best to be a vegetarian. So he sat down and he read my dragon's head. It's North Node, South Node stuff. And he said, you need Mars. You need Mars in your chart. You must eat meat. And I didn't tell him I was a vegetarian, right? You must eat meat. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. Fine. So that night I went out and had a free range organic cheeseburger, and I never looked back from that night.
Oh my goodness!
So Louis
changed my life.
Yeah. So how's this Mars and Virgo energy affecting you?
Well, I noticed it even before it moved into Virgo, because I noticed I would be thinking like, I'm going to speak up, I'm going to tell that person off, and normally I wouldn't do that. It's like, where is this coming from? And that was like in the later degrees of Leo. So now, I just feel I'm more aware of my anger.
Interesting. So, in your business there, are you looking at like employing like new models of efficiency, or are you looking at that kind of stuff?
Not necessarily. I want to get more in shape physically, though.
Okay, that's a good Mars and Virgo activity. Yeah.
And as far as manifesting, I definitely want to use whatever form is the most efficient, most effective, takes less amount of time. So I can relate to that.
Right. Right. Well, so what degree is your sun?
It's 25 in the first house.
25. All right, so you got a ways out. You're like me. I'm at 29. So we'll feel this towards the end of the cycle. And
okay.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Well, I'm going to put
not
you
the
back
early degrees, because my rising is 5 degrees.
Oh, your rising is 5. Well, dude, you're going to have Mars in your first house?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that makes sense with Mars and Leo and you wanting to, kind of tell people off and it coming closer to your ascendant like that. That makes total sense.
And I've got Pluto at 29 degrees Leo in the 12th.
Oh, so you're having a Mars-Pluto conjunction.
Right. Oh, wow. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's true.
Did you almost get in any accidents or anything like that?
No. But natally, Mars isn't in Virgo. It's just it's in Pisces, but it'll be transiting Virgo.
I see.
But natally, I do have yeah. No, when would you have thought it might have happened, the accident?
Well, I would have looked right at your Mars-Pluto conjunction in the 12th house. Theoretically, like classically, that would be a violent conjunction.
Okay. No, thank goodness I avoided all that.
Good. That's good. Excellent. Right on. Well, that's because I got Mars coming up on my Pluto too. So that's good news. Well, you're going to Mars in your first house. Well, that's going to be awesome. I mean, that's super dynamic. I mean, you'll get a lot of stuff done with Mars and Virgo in the first house.
Yes, exactly. And it's Virgos. Well, it's true. Will make Virgos more assertive than they normally would be.
Yes, that's a great point. That if you're Virgo out there and you are one of these accommodating Virgos, because a lot of times people, I've noticed, Steve, especially Virgo rising, people Virgo rising tend to want to blend in, not make waves. They're very
acquiesce.
And with Mars transiting the first house, if you're a Virgo rising, it'll definitely add some assertiveness and some ego. Although I don't necessarily think Virgos can be that egotistical. I mean, I don't think it's a real ego-based sign. But Mars in the first house with Virgo will lend some oomph to the ego for sure.
Yeah, because I've noticed myself saying things that I would not ordinarily say. It's like, where is this coming from? But it seems to be happening naturally.
Yeah.
So just speaking up for myself, making sure that I get credit for this, not letting anybody get in front of me, that type of thing. It's interesting.
That's one of the hardest things for Virgos to do is to be able to take credit for stuff. I used to work with this guy who was a Leo, right? And he used to attach himself to everybody's project. Even if he just sat in on one meeting, he would send out the email that would be congratulating the team about what they did. It's like, he was a total,
that's not the Virgo way. That's not the Virgo way.
That's not the Virgo thing. The Virgo thing would be lay in the background, know that you did a good job, think that the people that count notice what you did. That's so Virgo. But with Mars in the first house, it'll give you more of an impetus to take credit for what you do. So that's not a bad thing at all.
But Bob, why do Virgos, because I speak for myself, we don't tend to be on power trips. Like, I'm a manager, but, I'm very easygoing and treat everybody equally. It's not about being in power or being in charge, What's this all about?
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, for Virgos, the goal is to get the job done. That's
right, exactly.
And so they'll do whatever it takes to get the job done. And generally speaking, they have found, or Virgos find, that the most efficient way to get the job done is for people to get along and to buy into it. And Virgos will demonstrate, this is the thing about Virgos, especially with Virgo rising, which is what you have, is Virgos will demonstrate that they can do the work too. They're not plutocrats. They don't hang back and say, go do this, go do this, go do this. They'll actually roll up their sleeves and get in and do the work as well. So part of their strategy is to lead by doing, to lead by showing. That's a very Virgoan thing. So they're not about Yeah, they're not about ego or taking credit on that level.
That's so true. But getting back to the Dragon's Head, I mean, where would that be in my chart as far as natally?
What's that?
Where would the Dragon's Head, Dragon's Tail be in my chart natally?
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So let's quickly. All right, when are you born again?
Say it again.
What's your birthday?
9/18/56.
Right. Okay. So hold on a second. Right, so the Dragon's Head for you probably going to be the same as mine. No, that's not true. Hold on. 9/18. Sagittarius. So the true node for you, Sagittarius. That would put it. Let's see. So if you're a Virgo rising, that would be Pisces in the 7th, Aquarius in the 6th, Capricorn in the 5th. So it'd be your 4th house. You would have the Dragon's Head in the 4th house, right? So now theoretically, what Louis would do with his chart and what Nostradamus would have done is he would have put the 4th house on your ascendant, right? So now Sagittarius in some ways becomes your ascendant, and that's how it all kind of falls out. But so the Dragon's Head for you would be in Sagittarius. Now Louis' thing, and I tend to agree with this, is that if you buy into this whole thing around past lives, which personally I do, then the Dragon's Head is what you're moving towards in this lifetime, and the Dragon's Tail is what you're leaving behind. So for you, it's less about studying and more about teaching. That's what the Dragon's Head would be. And again, if we're looking at, what your experience was in the past, week or so, that would be a real Dragon's Head experience. It's telling people how you feel. That's a real, true node Sagittarius kind of moment. Being very blunt and open and honest with people. That's where you theoretically want to put your energy. And
okay.
So there you go.
Now the tail, would that be in the 10th house?
That's right.
Okay, great. And by the way, he mentioned that he channels Nostradamus.
I don't know.
That's what he said. He was on Journey into the Light, that blog talk show last night, and a couple weeks ago they said he was on Coast to Coast.
I don't, maybe he does. I don't know. I mean, when I look at John Hogue, if you know who John Hogue is, he's one of the foremost.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's one of the foremost. He's always on the Discovery Channel or History Channel talking. Whenever they do a show about Nostradamus, John Hogue is on the show. And if you look at John Hogue and you look at a picture of Nostradamus, every passing year he looks more and more like Nostradamus. Now I don't know whether that's intentional on his part or whether it's kind of is Louis channeling Nostradamus? Maybe he might be, but I don't think he's the only person that would be channeling Nostradamus.
Oh no, of course not. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nostradamus, his energy would be much bigger than Louis Turi. That's my sense. So I wouldn't put it past him. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, you want to go back on hold?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Thanks for calling in. Always good to have you on here, man.
Thanks a lot, Bob.
All right. Okay, our friend Steve down in Southern California. By the way, Louis Turi had the most stunning wife. Absolutely gorgeous. And they broke up. That was a long time ago. Okay, let's go to, I don't know why I said she made an impression on me, okay? Okay, here we go. Let's go to the triple, it's not the triple one line. It's 10 ones. It's the 111, 111, 1111, the 1111 line, also known as the Skype line.